Hey LinkedIn, I was thinking about this driving in today, and was talking to a colleague about it, and just, I've been doing this for a long time, a relatively long time anyway, and the more I do this, the more I realize that leaders are so important, and that's an obvious thing to say, but the more I've built companies and been doing this, I realize leadership is a huge part of it, having great leaders that really get it, but more importantly, making sure that the leaders are aligned and they're in lockstep, and then they can take the alignment, they can take the culture, they can take the mission, and they can get everybody else moving in the same direction through their respective divisions, whatever division they're in. And if you don't have that, it's just too hard to scale, it's too hard to grow. And I think this applies to large companies as it applies to smaller companies as well. We obviously deal with a lot of larger companies, and I can only imagine what some of the leadership challenges look like in those companies. But fundamentally, we do actually a lot of internal communication content and leadership alignment content and things that we would put in what we call quadrant 3, where we deal with training, internal communication. And this dovetails with that because for me, I realize how important it is to indoctrinate the leadership team in what are your core values, what's the culture, what's the vision, what's the vision of where we're going, what's the 10-year vision, what's 5-year vision, what's the quarterly vision or this year vision or quarterly next year vision, where are we going, what are we trying to do, what do we stand for, all of that stuff. Each leader needs to be able to communicate those things clearly. They need to know the core values. They need to know what you stand for. They need to be totally aligned. They need to be able to, mirror that and say that and just basically take that and push that down to their teams, because ultimately, you can have the best players. Obviously, you can have A players, but there still needs to be some leadership, and somebody has taking that top level stuff and driving that down to make sure that every single person in the company is aligned, and the goals and the targets and the objectives that you're trying to pull off are getting pulled off and are getting executed, right? And a big part of that comes down to leadership, and leadership that's aligned together and in lockstep. And so when you look at that, I'm a huge believer in training. I'm a huge believer in content and sort of just nurturing that. And I think that fundamentally, number one, you have to have the leadership team in place. Secondly, you need to basically codify these different things. You need to articulate these different things. And look, you can put it in video form, you can put it in site form, you can have events. There's a lot of things you can do, but I do think documenting these things that you want to turn into repeatable things that you want to spread company-wide, it could be documenting core values and turning those into video format and having some of the leadership objectives. You can have training on that. You can have internal training for those people. Ultimately, you need to make sure that each person can say and do and represent the company that's perfectly aligned with where you're trying to go. And I think that to the degree that you don't have that, it's going to create effort. It's going to slow things down. Things are going to drop out. You're going to have things that you put in, those things are going to drop out. You're going to have to re-put them back in. And so to the degree that the leadership team are not perfectly in lockstep, it's going to create effort, and it's going to slow things down, and you're going to miss targets. You're not going to be able to execute on it. So I think, we spend a lot of time on sales and pre-sales and sales enablement and working on helping support sales, go-to-market, account-based selling, net new logo type content. Various different things are going to help support those areas. But a huge amount of problems can be solved by focusing on the leadership and the training and the culture and the alignment of the leadership to make sure that you're pulling off everything else that you're trying to do. And the other thing I'll just say also is, if you take the time to train them and immerse them in the culture and the alignment of what you're trying to do, you should have a team that takes initiative and can just run with it, right? Prodding someone or pushing someone, that's not a leader. A true leader, you don't have to prod and push. They know where you're going, they know what's happening, they're totally aligned, and they can just go and run with it and go get it done, right? And you shouldn't have to follow up and prod and push the leadership team. The leadership team is doing that throughout the entire organization, right? So if you're having to prod and push somebody, that's not a leader, or they're not organized, they're not oriented, they're not trained, they're not aligned, right? So you got to do a better job starting with the leaders, and making sure that they are in lockstep with the top of the top, so the organization is in synchronization as a whole. So something to think about. Love to hear any comments below. Okay, thanks.